Good evening. Great to have you here. I'm Laura Painter.
And I'm Chris Thomas. We do thank you for joining us here on the ABC10 app.
We start tonight with a child sex abuse investigation in Sacramento that has now crossed state lines. The investigation started in Northern California. The suspect is now in jail in Sacramento County, facing 23 charges involving multiple victims.
But investigators believe there are even more victims who have yet to come forward. ABC10's Gabriel Porras has the details from law enforcement.
Deputies are still investigating the case and trying to figure out just how many victims there are, so they're withholding some information. But they did today release one sickening detail that some of the unreported victims may be friends of the accused sexual abuser's own children. For nearly 3 decades, Sacramento County deputies say this man lived on the loose, preying on the most vulnerable.
These are always very difficult cases to investigate.
Sergeant Edward Igo's team at the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation into accused child sexual abuser, 63-year-old Christopher Brinson.
A teenage family member is working with a social worker and advised that she had been victimized anywhere between 6 to 10 years of age, and as a mandatory reporter, they reached out to us, and that's where our investigation started.
That May 2024 tip led to 23 felony counts of lewd and lascivious acts with a child under 14.
At this time, we have multiple victims, including a family member. We do know that he's moved numerous times throughout these last 30 years.
The Sheriff's Office says he's lived at 17 addresses across Sacramento and in Stockton, Visalia, Farmersville, and the states of Montana and Alabama.
He was born out in Alabama. He was a California resident for some time. He just recently moved out there after being in the Northern California area for decades.
In his home state of Alabama in early December, deputies arrested Brinson and extradited him to Sacramento County, where investigators say their work isn't over.
The main purpose here, the main goal that we're trying to do is be able to identify any other potential victims that may be out there. It's imperative that they reach out to us.
Law enforcement now targeting the man who for years allegedly targeted the most innocent.
Based upon the timeline, it can make the investigation more difficult. The investigators that we have are top-notch, and they're going to make sure that justice is available for these victims.
Brinson is now in jail here in Sacramento County without bail. His next court date is set for February 5th. It'll be a settlement conference. In Sacramento, Gabriel Porras, ABC10.
Good to know, Gabriel. Thank you. If you are a victim or have any information on possible victims, call the Sheriff's Office's Child Abuse Bureau.
Well, we're now learning a man police say shot a San Jose police sergeant is actually from this area. The violent multi-day crime spree started in Sacramento and ended with the suspect dead in San Jose. Police say he stole a Corvette from a Sacramento dealership, then carried out multiple armed robberies and carjackings. The final confrontation happened Wednesday in San Jose. Police say the suspect crashed, then opened fire on a San Jose police sergeant, hitting him in the head. Officers returned fire, killing the suspect. The sergeant was taken to the hospital and he is expected to survive.
Now to new video this afternoon as deputies in Placer County are searching for the suspect or suspects who broke into a pair of Loomis businesses. Take a look. Those businesses happened at Mr. Pickles and the Mug on Taylor Road Monday. This is that new video inside the Mr. Pickles. Now, Placer County Sheriff's officials say no one was inside either business at the time. Windows were smashed at both locations. Investigators say the break-ins happened at the same time. There is no suspect information right now, but police are working on leads.
Well, several states and millions of people are bracing for a pretty big storm.
Yeah, some fear it could be the worst in modern history for some areas. The Department of Homeland Security now warns people to take this storm very seriously. ABC's Hannah Battah has a closer look.
Urgent preparations now underway as more than half the country braces for what could be the most crippling storm in years. The system will stretch some 2,000 miles from the south to the northeast, potentially bringing dangerous ice and feet of snow to millions over the weekend. Emergencies already declared in the Carolinas. Forecasters there warning this could be one of the most historic ice storms in modern history, with the potential for 12 straight hours of freezing rain, weighing down trees, causing widespread power outages. Another factor, brutal cold. It could feel like 35 below zero in Chicago this weekend. This post online warning about exploding trees has gone viral, describing how extreme cold can make sap freeze and wood contract, causing trees to suddenly split. The predicted snow and ice threatening to bring travel to a halt. Many areas already facing low supplies of road salt after a busy winter.
We noticed that halfway through the year, they were limiting the amount that we were able to bring into the store.
Major airlines are already waiving rebooking fees for impacted travelers. In Texas, some residents are racing to buy portable generators to stay warm, hoping to avoid a repeat of the storm that left millions without power for days back in 2021. During that storm, Senator Ted Cruz faced scrutiny for taking a family trip to Mexico. A photo this week of Cruz flying to California quickly spread online, but his office says Cruz will return before the storm. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Let's turn now to a health warning. Sacramento County is urging people not to pick or eat wild mushrooms because of the risk of deadly poisoning.
We first told you about this danger happening in the Bay Area, but now there are also cases in Sacramento. Health officials say the rain is contributing to the widespread growth of death-capped mushrooms. 4 cases of poisoning have been confirmed in Sacramento County. Public health and regional parks remind you wild mushrooms can be poisonous even if they look just like the edible ones. They remain toxic even after cooking, boiling, freezing, or drying.
So within the first 24 hours, a person might start experiencing nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. The diarrhea can be very severe, and that could result in hospitalization. The problem is that some of the complications from these symptoms could include kidney failure and liver failure, and those can lead to death.
Statewide, the California Poison Control System has tracked 35 cases. That's a massive spike from the typical 5 annually. The outbreak has claimed 3 lives, and while 3 other patients were forced to have liver transplants, they did survive.
It can be a hobby for people sometimes, really, to pick mushrooms together, but it depends on really where you are. I believe this area has, certain species that can look like safe ones and look like dangerous ones, so people got to be safe.
And it's one of those things where you're really just trying to be healthy, right?
Yes.
Trying to impress your friends or family by getting something, and you just don't want to end up having it being something that ends up being a danger to your friends or loved ones.
Exactly. Everyone, please be safe. Okay, next, ABC10 sits down with U.S. Senator Adam Schiff, what he has to say about the economy and immigration.
Weather system cruising into Southern California, bringing us clouds, helping to erode some of the fog. What's next in the forecast?
U.S. Senator Adam Schiff came to Sacramento Wednesday to discuss priorities with state lawmakers, from immigration to health care and the state budget deficit.
ABC 10 State Matters political reporter Jenny Huss sat down with Senator Schiff.
Well, what the detainees told us is that the water smells bad, and when they drink it, they often get a stomachache as a result. Others describe mold in their food. But frankly, the most significant concern were people who couldn't get the medical care that they needed.
This Democratic Senator Adam Schiff's takeaways after touring the California City ICE detention facility in Kern County, the largest and newest in the state.
The vast majority of them have never committed a violent crime. The vast majority of them has never committed a crime, apart from being undocumented.
Schiff and fellow Senator Alex Padilla spoke out about poor quality drinking water and lack of medical care, to which CoreCivic, the operator of the private facility, told us, quote, any claim of water quality issues is patently false. We asked the senator for his reaction.
So what you saw doesn't really give you confidence in the statement that they provided?
No, I mean, this is what we hear from the DHS authorities all the time.
Schiff says this was an oversight visit, but noted not enough is possible under the Trump administration and Republican trifecta in Washington.
The Justice Department is unwilling to do it. Departments aren't doing it themselves. The inspector generals who are supposed to be doing that, rooting out waste, fraud, and abuse, they've been fired and replaced by sycophants. If the majority changes in November, then suddenly we can do the oversight.
Schiff looking ahead to the 2026 midterm elections. As part of that, he met with state legislators in Sacramento throughout Wednesday to discuss priorities.
The state is going to have to dig out from a big hole that the federal government has put them in, the passage of that big, beautiful bill the president calls.
On Medi-Cal and CalFresh, does the state budget deficit concern you, Senator? Because the administration admitted that while the $1.4 billion additional dollars are spending in the next budget, it's for administrative costs. They can't backfill for the individuals that will be impacted because of the deficit.
It's a huge problem. There's really no sugarcoating it. So those discussions are going on as a part of the appropriation process in Congress. We hope to restore some of the funding we've taken away from the states.
Jenny Ha, ABC 10.
Jenny, thank you. To watch the full interview with Senator Adam Schiff, visit our website, abc10.com. Next at 5:30, how the looming winter storm hitting many parts of the country is affecting air travel.
Plus, the Oscar nominees are out. See who made the cut, including some Sacramento area talent and movies shot here. That's next. Okay, let's talk about that weekend winter storm, huh? This one has a lot of folks concerned because it could have a major impact on airlines, major disruptions. We've been taking a look at all the American airlines, for example, that could be impacted.
Yeah, this is huge. The airline has issued travel alerts for dozens of airports from New Mexico to Washington, D.C. Large airports like Atlanta, Charlotte, and Dallas are all on alert for travel disruptions throughout the weekend. So let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods now. This is a big winter storm, huge impact. We've already seen some video of it earlier in the week. Monica, my goodness, there's a lot to track.
It feels like they're getting a 1-2 punch, you know, they get rid of one storm and another one follows up behind it. We know a thing or two about that with our Christmas storms followed up by our New Year's storms. So those hit over a very busy travel period. Right now it's a little quieter, but that doesn't mean it's any less disruptive. Low pressure system pulling out of Southern California is going to sweep across the southern half of the country. That connects with some very cold air and is going to create those dangerous winter conditions. As far as what that low pressure system is doing for us, it's scouring out some of the fog, but it's also bringing a few very light showers to Southern California. You can see how that fog eroded for today. Roughly at about 2 o'clock or so, we started seeing peaks of sunshine, and that helped to boost those temperatures this afternoon. We're still going to see a mix of fog and sun for tomorrow. Breezy north winds. Tomorrow, they start to develop, really ramping up into our Saturday, tracking possible showers, third up on the list for the middle of next week. Looking at our conditions right now, we largely have clear conditions with temperatures in the 50s to right around 60, 39 for Tahoe. Afternoon highs today warm nicely. Again, with the peaks of sunshine, got us into the 50s to near 60 for the valley and the foothills, 50s for much of the Sierra, 49 for South Lake Tahoe, just a little bit cooler. But it was nice to finally see near average temperatures for today after sitting in the 40s and 50s for much of this work week here. Already have a dense fog advisory listed for tonight starting at 10 p.m. That's going to take us through 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. So limited visibility, difficult travel on the morning commute. And you can see what's happening here. Overnight tonight, we start to see that fog develop through the valley, the delta, and out towards the coast. It starts to pull back a little bit by about 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That's about the time frame that we actually start to see those winds increase as well. It'll be slow to get going, but it really starts to develop overnight Friday through Saturday with wind gusts up to about 15 to over 25 miles per hour. That's going to put us with some breezy conditions and a little bit on the disruptive side for those winds for us. As far as our forecast in the short term, again, we start to see that fog erode for tomorrow afternoon. High pressure ridge building in across the west, but it's in opposition of that low pressure system departing over towards the Great Basin that we're going to see those gusty winds. It will unfortunately not last too much longer, though, and we're right back to the foggy conditions by Sunday into early next week. Highs in the meantime in the 50s throughout the high country and across the coast. Watch out for those winds, by the way, on Saturday for the high country. Might just want to make sure that the lifts are running. 50s throughout the Central Valley as we head into our Friday forecast. I'll look at our extended forecast. We continue to see some gusty winds on Saturday. Slightly cooler weather for the high country, but overall a fairly quiet short-term forecast. What happens, though, deeper into the forecast is we actually see the chance of showers returning on Wednesday and then perhaps again by the following weekend.
But what a nice respite to see that sunshine today, just soaking up every ounce of it before more changes head our way.
I agree with you, yes.
Well, you called it, Monica. You said we would get the fog, but then it would burn off and the sun would come out.
I have to admit, I'm always a little nervous when I see it that thick and I go, ooh, okay.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, Monica, thank you. Okay, nominations for the Academy Awards have been announced, and Sacramento is actually pretty well represented.
Yeah, ABC10's Marcus Allen is in LA to break down who got nominated and who got snubbed.
Yes, with the nominations out, the countdown is on to the Academy Awards. 98th Academy Awards taking place right here at the Dolby Theater on March 15th. Until then, Sacramento, give yourself a standing ovation. The big story is all about you. Here's why. Take a look at Sinners. You've seen the movie. You know how gorgeous it is. Well, now, not only is it a gorgeous movie, but it's also a historical movie, earning a record-breaking 16 Oscar nominations. It's the most nominated film in Oscar history, surpassing previous high held by All About Eve, Titanic, La La Land. This includes nods across every major category: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, Best Acting, and of course the new Best Casting category. Another big Sacramento win, one battle after another. Filmed almost entirely in Sacramento, some in Stockton, some in El Dorado Hills. 13 nominations, placing it just behind Sinners as one of the year's top nominated films. All right, my bold predictions based on what I heard this morning. If you would have asked me yesterday, I would have said, I think Timothée Chalamet is going to win Best Actor. But this morning, with a lot of voting members in-house, when they announced Michael B. Jordan, a huge swell. I think Michael B. Jordan has it in the bag. I also think that Amy Madigan for Weapons, another horror movie, I think she has it in the bag for playing Gladys. I think you're going to see a Best Actress nomination, win going all the way for Hamnet. I think for certain, without fail, K-pop Demon Hunters is your best animated picture. I'll also say this. Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein is going to get Best Actor. Now, a lot of times when actors or actresses have massive prosthetics or CG build in their character, it hurts their chances of winning. In this case, I think he is going to win. And secondly, I do think makeup in that category is going to win for Frankenstein, he being the Frankenstein monster as well. Of course, my predictions could all be wrong. Let me show you some time, not so far in the distant past, that all of my predictions got thrown out when there was an upset. I mentioned Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro. Back in 2017, I stood right there as Guillermo del Toro walked out, having upset it all with The Shape of Water, a movie about a lady that hooks up with the fish, won the Academy Award. So what's going to happen this year? I don't know, but we're going to find out March 15th, the Oscars, right here on ABC 10. From Hollywood, I'm Mark S. Allen. I'll be at the Costco in Roseville tomorrow. Back to you.
I love it. Mark, thank you, sir. And I do have to say, you know, when it comes, he mentioned Sinners, right? And making history for all those nominations. Yep. Ryan Coogler, the director. Sac State proud, Stingers up, huh? Went to Sac State, and then to have that many nominations for his movie is just such a proud moment for Sacramento. And then, of course, when you think about the other movie, that everybody's talking about, that was shot here in Sacramento with Leonardo DiCaprio.
The big Leo movie, we love it. You know, this region is really being called Hollywood of the North. So it's really great to see our region being highlighted in all these special ways. So we'll see what happens on the big awards night. I do love Marcus Allen's coverage of it, his sense of humor and his outfits as well. Always dapper, always dapper. He'll be dapper at the Costco too.
That's true. Y'all know Marcus Allen wears a suit to go swimming.
I love it. I believe it. And skiing.
He does. And don't forget, for an in-depth look at the big movies of the past year, you can stream Marcus Allen's show. Take a look right here on the free ABC 10 app.
Take a Look also airs every Friday right here on ABC 10 at 9:30 a.m. We're back after this.
Okay, coming up new tonight at 6, you've heard of a drug-sniffing dog? Well, you'll meet a dog that uses its nose to help detect hidden electronics used by child predators. That and more coming up new tonight on the news at 6.
But first, the wintry weather in the Northeast is actually making for some pretty perfect settings for some families out in Connecticut. Take a look here at this video. All right, as you see, the snow blanketed a golf course earlier this week. That's a lot of snow, making ideal conditions for sledding, even a snowball fight or two. Burn off those calories, kiddos, and mom and dads. Help them bring their little tubes and sleds up those hills. Gorgeous blue skies, too. I love it.
Child, be safe out there too, though. You know what I mean? Because you come out, it's so cold and things. Just take your time. Be safe.
They don't need helmets.
I need to call and check on Mom. They got snow in Alabama this week. Okay. Watch us anytime, y'all.